5th. It's the last Friday of the month. No, I don't know where September has gone, but let's get into market analysis. Lots to talk about today. Let's get into it right now. And today, before you go, I'm going to give you the two top stocks that are completely bucking this trend. All right? So the principle of today's article is two stocks that are bucking the trend. But first, let's go through the global economy. All right? So global shares turned lower Friday again, but they ended up higher yesterday. Actually, just so you know, when stocks open lower, pre-open, and then trade higher, that's a bullish sign. When stocks open higher or are in pre-open market a lot higher and then sag down, that's a bearish sign. So for the last few days, we've actually had a pretty bullish sign because the market's been opening lower and headed higher. So that is positive. We're also seeing a resurgence in virus cases and political division in the U.S. That's not unexpected in light of the fact that we have elections in a couple of months. Actually, what am I talking about? Less than 2 months. It's amazing. Time is just flying by. I have like a black hole between March and August. I honestly just don't remember things, you know? All right. Despite signs of global economic rebound in the third quarter, worries remain around the COVID-19. House Democrats said they are paring back their proposal for a new stimulus package in an attempt to jumpstart negotiations with the Trump administration. That may be the reason why the stock market has been fairly bullish last few days. Steve Mnuchin and Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell have said government's top priority should be to provide affordable loans to small businesses and further support for millions of Americans still unemployed. It would be great for Americans to get some more cash out of the government. Paralyzing partisanship has prevented Congress renewed of aid. There's a lot of lockdowns. Recent vacancy on the Supreme Court following the death of Justice Ginsburg deepened the divide. Oh man, there's a lot of stuff going on right now. Talk about unforeseeability. The market's momentum has shifted with lightning speed recently. The U.S. presidential election is a big factor. That's probably the second biggest factor driving the markets behind COVID-19 right now, particularly after President Trump's refusal Wednesday to commit to a peaceful transition of power if he lost. That's bad. And rising tensions between the United States and China. Adding to the uncertainty is the question of how soon drug makers will be able to develop a COVID-19 vaccine to stem future waves of outbreak. I love how President Trump refusal Wednesday to commit to a peaceful transfer of power. It's interestingly how he started taking that position after the Supreme Court had an empty spot. Wink, wink. But it's interesting. And again, layered on top of all the myriad concerns is the raging COVID-19. I got to say, I am 100% in agreement with this article today. Crude oil prices are still trading at $39.96 below the $41-42 a barrel, which is what frackers pay for energy prices in order to work on them in the U.S. That is negative, very, very negative for us right now. All right, now let's talk about put-to-call ratio. We're at 1, so the market's not really stretched out to the put side yet. We're not seeing panic selling. It means the market could sell off, although we have only 24% of stocks in the S&P trading above the 50-day moving average. And here's the big problem. 51% of stocks trading above the 200-day moving average. And if you look at overall market momentum, this is any stock that's above $2. Only 41% of stocks in the U.S. trading above $2 a share that have been trading for a minimum of 6 months, which pretty much is the entire exchange. There's 60% of stocks trading below the 200-day moving average. That's bearish, folks. That's not bullish. That's bearish. The market is officially bearish, but because the U.S. stock market is capitalized weighted, which means the larger stocks in the S&P and in the NASDAQ and in the Dow have more voting power, which means if you have Apple and Microsoft and Amazon and a couple of other stocks making new highs and all the other stocks making new lows, you'll see the market capitalization of those large cap stocks a lot more because the weight of the asset is what gives it its voting power in the indexes. So, but this is why I look at internals. If everything was equal weighted, I wouldn't have to look at internals. But because they're not, I have to look at internals because internals Just tell us how many of the 500 or the 100 or the 30 stocks are trading above or below their respected moving average. And the overall market, you've got 24% trading above the 50-day moving average, and you've only got 41 trading above the 200-day moving average. That's bearish. And if we look at the NASDAQ, you will see that the number is not all that different. Look at this. Only 22% of stocks trading above the 50-day moving average, but you still have 72 trading above the 200-day moving average. So in the short term, we could be fairly close to bottoming out, but I still think we have some more downside in the long term, which means the overall index, the overall NASDAQ 100, is not on solid footing. Now, in light of the recent downside, I want to show you something really cool. Talk about bucking the trend. So these are all the stocks making 90-day breakouts. And usually you'll see like 100 stocks, 30 stocks, 50 stocks. But right now, there's only 4 stocks. 4 stocks. Look at this. There's 65 stocks making 90-day breakdowns, but only 4 stocks making 90-day highs. But I wanted to show you the stocks that I like that are making 90-day highs right now because they actually look really good. One of them is a stock we've been talking about quite a bit, DRI, Darden Restaurants. It's been a real monster relative strength-wise. It's making all-time highs and it's bucking the trend. Why is this important? Listen carefully. Because when the stock market rebounds, the first stocks are going to be, to go up, are going to be the stocks that have withheld the relative strength. It's too early still. It's only 8:39 here. And Navistar. I like these 2 stocks. I like how Navistar is like trading against the all-time highs. I would wait for it to break out some more, maybe around the $44 level, but I like Navistar. It's a strong stock, and I like DRI. These 2, OMI and MNTA, I'm not that familiar with it, and this stock looks like it was taken over. That's why it looks like it's barely trading. But I like Navistar. I do like Navistar, and I like DRI. Now, if we were to look at all of our relative strength stocks, which I'll do right now, you could see that the stay-at-home stocks, the FedEx, the shipping stocks, L Brands, UPS, FCX, and NVIDIA are still running the show. Look at this. The same stocks that I told you that were at the strongest stocks 2, 3, 4 weeks ago, still the strongest stocks. Salesforce. This one is new. CHRW, Robinson Worldwide. That's a new one. But all of these other ones, West Pharmaceutical, NVIDIA, Freeport, Moran, UPS, L Brands, Freeport McMoran, sorry. L Brands, FedEx, UPS and FedEx still up there. Nothing has changed. Nike, Whirlpool. Remember how long ago I told you guys about Whirlpool and Deere and Gap and UPS and FedEx? Guess what? And PayPal and Hainesware, not Viacom, but all of these. Here, let me show you the ones. FedEx, L Brands, UPS, FCX, NVIDIA, West, Mosaic, AMD, Gap, Chipotle, Salesforce, Deere, Quanta, Whirlpool, Nike, PayPal, Hainesbrand. All of these stocks have been the strongest stocks over the past month and a half, 2 months. Nothing has changed. Matter of fact, let me go back 1 month back. I can go in a time machine. Look at this. 1 month ago. Let's look at this. That's 1 month ago, all right? Look, August 24th. L Brands, FedEx, NVIDIA, UPS, AMD, Apple's still here, ABMD's here. They're no longer up here. Quanta, PayPal, Hainesbrand, Mosaic, Whirlpool, Gap, right? Like 8 out of 10, Deere, right? Nothing has changed. And now let's look at now, today. Look at that. FedEx, L Brands, UPS, FCX, NVIDIA, West, Mosaic, AMD, Gap, Chipotle, Salesforce, Variable, Quanta, Whirlpool, Nike, same stocks. All you got to do is go to StockFetcher, put my code in, and go 1 month back, and you'll see for yourself. But right now, I'm really liking these 2 stocks because they are completely bucking the trend. Now, I wouldn't be going all in. I would be very, very cautious. I told you guys to lower your exposure about a month and a half ago because techs were looking a little iffy. But I do like this DRI, Darden Restaurants, and I like this Navistar. I like these stocks. I like them a lot right now. Those would be the only 2 stocks I would be taking a long exposure right now, unless you're already long something and making money. But again, the market is shaky, momentum levels are iffy, and it looks like we may be in this mess for quite some time. So be very, very cautious. Now, before I let you go, folks, I cannot emphasize enough how important Chuck's 10-time trading championship trophy trades are. This guy's got a 97% accuracy. For the first time in history, he's revealing the secret behind his 20 years of success without a single down year. Chuck has made over $1 million this year alone thanks to his trophy trade system. And had you traded it for the last 2 decades, you would have made $13.5 million. That's $56,000 a month. And he says he even has a trade lined up for you right now that could earn you thousands in a matter of days. You don't want to waste your time, not with a guy that's been crowned the 10-time world heavyweight trading champion and has a 97% win rate and has made $13.5 million over the last several years, and which averages out to $56,000 a month. And the best part of all, that's like over the last 20 years without a single losing year. Chuck is amazing, to say the least, all right? This guy is a champ, a true world trading heavyweight champ. Don't waste another minute. Click on the link below to get an insight on Chuck's secret today. $1 million this year alone, 97% accuracy, and everything I'm telling you is completely documented. Chuck's got record statements, this guy's got more documents than the FBI and CIA put together. Chuck is a winner. You don't want to miss this. If you want to check out trophy trades, follow the link below, learn all about it now, and